Hello and welcome to the Sias Plessis show, proudly brought to you by Betway, our proud partners. Check out betway.co.za for more information on the Betway SA20 that gets underway shortly. You can win tickets, so like and subscribe. A big thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed and that continues to watch. We've had some great guests. It's a brand new year and we're excited to have you on board. I'm excited to have a gentleman in the studio who, I think a couple months back, right? Was it a month? Or no, it was months or a year. No,
It was just before you started.
Yeah,
You had like 2 episodes out.
we just started.
Yes,
yeah.
you had just started.
And I was like, hey, Gift, you got to come on the show. And what did you say?
I was like, no, not yet. let me first win the title fight because I knew there's a title fight in the wake. So I'm like, let me first be a champion and then come on because Osaka, I just come on as like Gift.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the EFC Flyweight champion, Gift Walker, 5-0. That must sound good. I mean, when you go to bed and you're like, you know, sort of saying your prayers and looking up at the stars or wherever you're sleeping. I don't know. Maybe you're camping.
No, I'm not a camper, but thank you.
5-0 sounds good. Undefeated as a professional mixed martial artist. That's pretty cool.
I'm really, I love it. It sounds good. It sounds good hearing it, but I won't lie. Like the record, it means nothing.
Sure.
Right now, for me, what's really important is keeping this title. Right now, that's the important part to me. So even if I was like 4-1, right now, I think my main focus right now is just keeping the belt. And I feel like anyone says that you can only be a real champion once you defend your belt. So I'm like, everyone's always called me this good champion. Now I've got a chance to finally prove it. Let's see what's up.
Okay, you obviously take on Zulu Boy, who's a legend. Let's be honest. All due respect.
Oh yes,
the legend of the EFC.
Yes.
But we'll get to that title fight a bit later on. Firstly, how did you get into the sport of MMA? Take us back to where it started, because you've had a remarkable journey in the sport. And I always ask people I interview, where did it start for them, regardless if it's someone who's a DJ fresh who, you know, started, you know, basically mixing music at primary school, collecting music on tape back then. Where did it start for you?
For me, so like, also I started at a really young age. We spoke about it the other day. I was like 12, 13, but I was like super into WWE. And I was like, I love WWE. Like,
who's your favorite?
At the time, it was John Cena.
Okay.
It was John Cena. You can't see me, man.
Yeah.
And there was even I went to preschool, Care Bears, and there was a pageant show. And I got 3rd place because, like, I walked out as John Cena. Like, they even played the music, and I was like, and I showed all the John Cena moves and everything. So I was obsessed with wrestling like that. But I never knew where to go. There was never, like, where in Springs, it's a very small town. So it's never, like...
Shout out to Springs.
Shout out to Springs. I love it. It's my hometown. We've got some great athletes from there. But there was never, like... Go there. There was soccer, rugby, and cricket. Those were the 3 sports. And I was playing those 3 sports already. I was fairly good at them. And my sister started working at the SPCA, and she started, like, the SPCA would hold events. So sometimes it would be action cricket, sometimes action soccer. And then the one day, shout out to, like, the old gym I used to train at Rio Grappling. They came and they, like, went into cahoots with the SPCA, and they held a event. And at the event, it was Cage Warriors. And this was like many, many moons ago, like so long ago. It was like Mark Hume fought that main event.
Wow.
Mark, yeah, it was like long ago. And I watched that fight, like those guys fighting, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I want to do this. And I spoke to the guys, and they took me backstage there to meet Bernardo Makishi. And now back then, he was like the man in heavyweight MMA. And I looked at this guy, I was like, yo. Okay, this guy's big. He's a human, hey?
Yeah.
And they told me, like, you can come start next week. And that next week, so let's say it was a Saturday, that Monday I started and I haven't stopped. I have not stopped, yeah.
And now you're the champion, which feels good.
Yes, it feels great. It feels great. After, like, so much ups and downs, it's actually, like, good. It's good validation to be like, hey, actually, it was the right career choice.
What are some of the most important lessons you've taken out of your journey? Because I don't think people see you for... if it's a 5-minute round, or if it's 25 minutes for a title fight, or if it's 15 for a regular fight, that's where they see you on TV. They don't realize I mean, you guys were boxing on Boxing Day, right? Is that a tradition at the House of Tinkerbell?
Yeah, so we started that like as soon as the gym opened, and it's like I said, it's good. I've seen a lot of gyms also doing that, and it's good. It keeps your athletes honest. But it's a very cool tradition we have. Like, don't eat too much on Christmas Day because the next day you've got boxing on Boxing Day, and it like we come there and like it's just fun, man. You come, you bring your girlfriend, your mom, everybody. Just you get to throw some hands there. So it's just a good like House of Tinkerbell's created a good family vibe for me, and I love that gym so much. It's like my brothers and sisters. It's awesome.
Your other family.
It's literally my other family. Literally.
You guys must be commended on the hard work that you put in. I mean, JP's been phenomenal, leading from the front. But I look at Peace. I mean, Nate, Nicole, you guys. If I've left out anyone, I apologize. But I mean, you guys are really like punching above your weight and proving that you're one of the top gyms in South African MMA.
No, look here, like, regardless, this is like, you know what's nice about this? We've been what I feel, and it's going to sound very biased, but we have been one of the top gyms for a very long time. It's just we were all, how can I say, we were all still papas. We were all amateurs, like Nate's, Peace, myself. We were all still very babies. So everyone knew how good we were, but it was like there wasn't any light to shine. And thank goodness for EFC and us being professional athletes now, because now there's that light shining on us, and everyone's like, okay, you guys are really that good. And it's like, it's not us, it's JP, and I give all the credit to him. And I know he's like, it's rightly so, he will give all credit to Jesus. But I'm thankful that Jesus put someone like JP in our lives to guide us, because without him, like I've had other coaches, and I was this good athlete, but I had no structure. I had no guidance, and he brings that to us. And like, yeah, we all mess up sometimes, and he reminds us. Like today, no, when was it? 3 days ago, we had a business meeting, and JP never holds meetings. But before we even started the meeting, let me tell you, I got so much sorry, pardon for my language. I got so much shit because I had a good New Year's, and he was like, okay, so the party's done now. You've got a fight coming up. And he gave me this whole speech, and he basically grounded me for this fight. And I'm like, that's the kind of guy I need in my life. Like, he's really a good mentor for me. He's awesome.
But you also need that release from the days, the rigors of training all the time, because it's sacrifice. It's literally blood, sweat, and tears. There is blood. There's no doubt about it. But you can get so caught up in that grind that you forget to disconnect. So it's important to disconnect. And if you have a good New Year's, I mean, obviously you don't have to go crazy. That can be for after your career. But it's good to disconnect and just sort of refocus, right? And then you have a guy like JP who says, gift. Okay,
it's done now.
Here we go. Line in the sand. Next thing, we look in March.
Look,
done.
I agree. No, I agree for athletes, especially professional athletes. So this is what I explain to the people, because I also coach people. So I explain to them, you guys are not professional athletes, so don't be too hard on yourself. If you have a beer, or if you have a glass of wine with your wife or something, you guys are allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But like me as an athlete, I'm not saying I'm not allowed to, but I have to limit that. I have to limit it a lot compared to like the regular person. So for me, losing 5 kgs is easy. For you, it's going to be hard because this is my lifestyle. It's my lifestyle. So we can't compare it like that. But in the same breath, I need to be an athlete as well. So when the time comes, like now, I've got a big fight in March, I need to be able to be like, okay, the partying and fun stuff is done now. It's time to focus. And like sometimes I do forget because I am still only young in the sports, and I need someone like JP to be like, hey, this is right, this is wrong, time to quit it now. And it's good. And I've not only JP, I've got a lot of people in my life reminding me, like, there's goals to chase here, and I'm very thankful for it. I'm very grateful for that.
You spoke about it's easy to lose 5 kgs. From weight cut wise, with you, is it still something that every athlete dreads, or is it something that is so used to your lifestyle now, you just sort of, okay, it's weight cut time?
I won't lie to you. The guys that say they like it and they used to, they lie. This is horrible. Yeah, man. Like I watched the documentary on boxers, and the good boxers, not even the good boxers, the guys that have smarter people in their corners, they have easier weight cuts and it's still hard on their bodies. But the guys like me, and no disrespect, I've got Jimmy James. We spoke about this the other day, and me and Jimmy were talking guys in the UFC, they've got guys in the UFC PR, doctors, checking their body mass and all, literally down to the T. I've got Jimmy.
Fold the works.
Me and Jimmy James, we jump on the scale, we check my body mass, we do everything. Just okay, this is what you must eat. Tell me if it works. it works for the month. He's like, okay, let's stick to that.
So it's about a calorie deficit though, right?
Yeah, it's
But you are
basically like
burning tons of calories in
tons,
training,
but you
right?
also have to put tons in, and that's where like how can I say, that's where I get, this is me, it's not speak for everyone else, this is where I mess up out of camp, because for me to maintain that weight, I'm a big flyweight.
I was going to say, you are a big flyweight.
I'm a freaking big flyweight. So for me to eat chicken breast and spinach the whole year through, it kills me. It absolutely kills me. So sometimes, especially out of camp,
there's no spice then.
No spice, nothing. So out of camp, I kind of diverse out of that. But in camp, I'm very strict to my diet and very like what I eat and everything. But it is like Jimmy James and me, we've worked out a good diet and everything. Like that last fight camp, my body felt amazing.
You look great, by the way.
I was 2 kgs under what I should be. I was like weighing 55 point something. I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be so skinny. Like I need some muscle, but like it's that's what I'm saying. I'm just happy like the people around me in the circle, we nailing this down. And like I said, I'm still a bubba. So as much as I'm learning, so is my team as well, which is it's super great. It's great, and I'm super blessed to be in the position I am.
Exciting.
It is so exciting. So exciting.
In the early days of EFC, I remember, like we're talking the 3, 4, way back when I started. Athletes used to finish weigh-in, and then I swear you would see them at Spur with a huge steak, onion rings, the full-on, or they're at the Wimpy or Steers. That's changed. Like these days, once you guys finish the weight cut, the weigh-in's done, it's not about going out and gorging yourself.
You can't.
It's about being professional.
Right? Yeah. Because
the sport has evolved.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, back then, it's like, it sounds crazy. They weren't athletes, they were fighters.
True.
And in the same breath, I miss those type of guys as well. Like I miss those type, because the old school UFC, those guys they'll crush some of us now,
Something
man.
different.
It was crazy. Like I'm looking at them. Those guys had the technique, they had it, but it wasn't about that. They were there to fight, and that's where I give those guys the respect. Even old school UFC. Nowadays we are athletes, so after we were in, you kind of have to. Intake, you have a water intake. You have to start with small meals. You can't just go like big steak at Spur or something. Like we all want to do that, but you can't. So it's changed a lot. But yeah, no, hey, times have changed. I miss those old days.
Do you have someone from the old days that you admired? I mean, I hear Cameron Simon's story, Drickus' story. Like they were sitting there. I think it's EFC 10. He said as a 17-year-old or whatever it was, and he's like, I want to do this. He turned to his brother or his dad. I can't remember exactly, but is it a similar sort of thing where you still speak of these?
I can't like pin it down to the nail, but I know like for EFC, I can name a few legends that I loved. I loved JP Kruger back in the day because JP Kruger made him special even before I started training with him. Like this guy was a kickboxer, and everybody knew he was a kickboxer. But when shit went bad, he turned to jiu-jitsu and he won. Like, when he snapped Donovan Hawkins' arm, I was like, what? Yeah. I watched that fight. I was laughing at that. I was like, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So it was JP. I love Leon Maynard.
Yeah, what a warrior.
Oh, my God. What a savage. Leon Maynard, like, anytime he would walk out, everyone would sit there like, yo, we don't know what's about to happen. So
it was exciting, man.
It was so exciting. Demar Penner, he was our best champion in EFC. He was great. We had guys like Darren Double D Daniels, man. So
all the skills,
all the skills. Jeremy Pitbull Smith, like I could go on there, like the names, even One Gift on Sale, Ron Potts, the trilogy those guys had. Like we had so many great athletes back then. And the fight we would have, that it was barn burners, like Dino Bagatine and Dallas Jacoby. I'm like, crazy, I sit there, I'm like, those were like back. Like they don't make fighters like that anymore. Like
it's
they really
evolved.
It has. It really has. It has evolved, but at the same time, we've taken away from the sport as well because we've become athletes. Yeah. And myself included. Myself too. I don't want to get into a war like that. Especially if I could hit you, like instead of going boom, 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 if I could just pull out of the distance and hit you with one clean straight, it just makes my life a little bit better. It's a bit cleaner. Like. It makes for a little less trouble and a longer life.
Absolutely.
A much longer life, much longer.
And the sport needed to evolve from fighting to a mixed martial arts where it became sport with athletes.
Because
so
also
the cage fighting, I hate when people call it
because
cage
I was just gonna say that's what it was. It was a bunch of guys like as skilled as what they were, but they were cage fighters.
Yeah.
And the crowd that would go would be guys in tap out shirts and like guys that like
tap out did good business.
It did do good business, but the crowd that it attracted, like guys that smash cans on their heads, and it used to be crazy back in EFC days like
when
that.
When it was the Coca-Cola Dome, we had 10,000 people.
Mad.
I mean, you go to Grand West, wherever it was thousands of people.
Even Big Top, hey, it was insane.
Carnival was massive.
Massive. Like back then, like my favorite was when Leon Maynard walked out against Frederick Naumann, hey. Because it was Leon Maynard, everyone was like writing him off of he's this old guy, like he's maybe past his time.
Done.
And there was this undefeated challenger coming in, and he spoke to him in like the first minute of the first round, and the whole stadium went dead silent. And then it erupted. And I was like, even sitting there, like for that feeling, I was like, I need to do this. This is something.
So that's where you were hooked.
Yeah, like in those kind of fights, like you sit in those arenas, even JP, like when he walks out, it's like, go, and the whole arena's shaking and everyone's going crazy. And I'm like, some random lady shot it, come out. And you're like, oh man, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts.
I wanted to ask you this. So your walkout at the EFC PI, it's obviously a very short walkout. Would you prefer a longer walkout?
I would.
So you see the UFC guys, depending on the venue. I mean, when I was at Madison Square Garden for 295.
Oh, lucky.
That was amazing. Watching them come out, it's a long walkout.
It's a long walkout.
And like
sometimes their songs even start over.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, that is what you need, because sometimes, like, if you look at someone like Israel Adesanya, your walkout sells it as well. Absolutely. You don't always need to dance. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like Adesanya do cartwheels and stuff before I fight. Yeah, I'm not that type of guy. But it sells it. It makes people want to watch. Like, if you come dancing and giving out high fives and everything, it engages with the crowd. And look, I love the EFC and I love the PR, but we need to break into the arenas. Like COVID is past 2-3 years. We need to
Hopefully
get out.
It happens soon, man.
It does.
We need to take it to the people again.
Because also, like, I know, man, like, the people want to go there. Like, look at how they pack that PR. And that's the little bit of people that can go there. Yeah. Now, imagine the ones that, like you say, like, Big Top Arena or Grand West. Times Square. Oh, man.
It'd be amazing.
It'd be amazing. It'd be really amazing.
We need to put a word out there to us.
We do. I hope they listen.
Coming back to that, when you walked out for your title fight, obviously with Terence stepping up, it was a remarkable day. I think him hopping on a plane and getting there the same.
Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, good for him.
All due respect, but he obviously came up against the top dog, right? On the night. You got your belt. You said you're 2 kgs under at the weigh-in where you should be. Did you feel you were ready? Did you feel in control, or how did you feel?
I literally felt like that round, like that fight went the way I thought it was gonna go. Like literally, like maybe I could have been a bit more aggressive, but at the same time I hadn't sparred in so many weeks. So me coming in like that was just a bit of not wanting to take caution to the wind and take the first shot to wet my feet.
Because he's got fast hands.
He's got fast hands. He's very slicky. Like, you make a mistake, he might slip and pull, and you don't want to get caught like that. That's a horrible way to lose, I feel. So I was
you haven't tasted defeat yet in a professional
career. Like that. I haven't. Not even that. Like in general, I've never been knocked out ever in my whole life. Like.
Well, let's hope that doesn't change, Gift Walker.
And if it does change, I wouldn't mind. But I'd like it to be more in a slugfest. I wouldn't want it to be, I throw a jab, you pull, you hit me at a stud. Like, oh my goodness, my mom came for 20 seconds. Like, that's horrible. like,
listen, this is the most unpredictable theater of sport.
That's why be well prepared. That's why we love it. That's why if it happens, I'll be okay with it. I'm not a sore loser. I'll be okay, but it will sting. I'll be. But with that, I felt I was very much in control. That's why I'm very happy with the weight cuts. I'm literally gonna like do what I did last time. It's one of those things. Don't fix what's not broken.
The process, absolutely.
Because everyone, like, I was skinny, and I also thought it was going to be a problem. But when I got back into the cage on the day, I was what I normally am. Sure. I was my normal weight, which was shocking to me. I thought I was going to be 2 kgs under on fight day, but I wasn't. I was normal weight. I was just as strong. Yeah. Maybe I was a bit slower, but that's because I was gun shy. I had a spot in 3-4 weeks. So
why not?
I was injured. I hurt my intercostals. Like I was wrestling, and I tried to turn, and in the turn something went and
3 weeks out or what?
3.5 weeks. So I was so tired of hitting pads. I hit pads for 3.5 weeks, literally, nearly every single day. I couldn't wrestle. I could run and hit pads.
Goodness.
At gym, obviously, but
Yeah.
that sucks. That's terrible anyway.
Oh, that's a frustrating injury.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
No, this was the first time I've been injured to that magnitude that you can't train a certain thing, and I've got the biggest fight of my life coming up. So I was like, gift you kind of have to just bite the bullet and you're going to make this happen. And even while warming up, I was warming up with my brother. And this is now 10, 15 minutes before I'm supposed to fight. I try to sweep him and I feel this is not like, this is sore. Like, it feels like someone hit me with
Did
the
you
body
say
shot.
anything to anyone? Or?
Yeah, my team knew. My whole team knew.
Okay.
So I was like, guys, this is bad. So I was like, when I get hands on this guy, because I knew it was going to happen, I was like, I'm going to get hands on him. I'm going to get hands on him and it's done. I'm not letting him up.
Yeah.
And at the end of the second, I sat down and JP's like, what's going on? And I told him, like, okay, I'm sorry. Because I could hear them, but I just wasn't doing what they wanted to. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is what I'm going to do. And I told him, like, I'm going to put this kid down. And JP's like, okay, just don't walk into anything big. And as soon as I shot, I slipped on the mat. Like, you can see it clear as day. I slipped. And in that point, I'm like, God, please don't let me lose like this. And I remember I'm looking up and it's lights and everything. And as soon as I got him down, I was like, phew, let's go. Okay. Now jiu-jitsu starts.
Yeah.
And I could feel he was very frantic. Like, you can feel when someone doesn't want to be there, like on the ground. Like, you can feel like he just wants to get up. And I was like, okay, if you panicking like this and I'm chilled, this is good. Let me just work. Then I'm good. Then I'm okay.
Afterwards was quite special. I mean, you got your folks.
Oh, man.
I mean,
years in the making.
You know, I mean, it was a truly special moment. And I think it was just so beautiful that you could share that with these people that mean more to you than parents, right?
Literally.
Is that a fair sort of comment?
Like in that sense, like it's
that's
crazy.
even possible,
Yeah,
you know
like
what I
I've
mean?
always had to explain this to people. These aren't like my adopted parents. These are my parents.
Yeah.
Like even more than the other parents. These like I'll kill for these people and I'll die for them too. Like that, I love my mom and dad. So that moment for me was so special because they're like any parents, they had doubts. Me going into MMA, they first wanted me to do it as a sport, not to get bullied, blah blah blah. But then obviously I was pretty decent in it, and I was like, I don't want to do anything else. So they had their doubts, but with that being said, they still supported me. They were at every amateur fight, every tournament. Even when I lost, there was like they would like make jokes with me, and I'm like, you never want to hear jokes when you lose. But my parents were those type like, we don't care how you feel, you did amazing, and we're gonna tell you did amazing. So that moment, for me to win there with them, I was like, yo. This is awesome. This is awesome. It's worth it.
I had a laugh and forgive me because obviously being on the production, doing the interviews and that, I sit next to the commentary team and we're busy listening.
I think I know it's coming.
Do you know what's coming?
It's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Oh,
so the director is saying to the cameraman, when you're thanking your parents, find his mom. And you could see the cameraman is like confused because there's two there's white parents
and then there's black.
Yeah,
I saw.
And then he's like, you know what I mean? So it was funny in the moment, but I think for me what's so amazing is how South African is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in this country where it really doesn't matter what color you are. And I know there's a lot of work to be done behind the scenes, but it was such a special moment because here are these two kind, wonderful people proud of their son, regardless of the fact that you're adopted. They are your parents.
No,
I mean,
true.
they are. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just such a special moment that I just wish the cameraman had captured it. If you know what I mean, and focused. I mean, they probably could have been briefed a bit better, but it was just like he's looking for like a black lady. Or, you know what I mean?
Thought, like when I walked in with my mom, because like they were the last ones to get there out of my family, so they sent me a message. We're at the venue, so I went out to get them, like at the door and everything. So everyone's obviously heard I'm adopted, but no one's ever seen my mom, like in EFC.
I don't think they've been to any.
They've never. No, this was their first event, because obviously, like it's my title fight. Come, you have to watch it. So I brought my mom in, and I've got my mom on my shoulder, and I'm walking in, and like everybody's like, "Is that his mom?" And like
you could hear it and see,
and their eyes are like, "Oh shit, he wasn't lying. He's actually got white parents." And I'm like, "Would I lie about that?" Like,
no, look, I mean, as I say, like, and your story is remarkable. I mean, and forgive me for telling it. I actually should have you tell it, but you know, at the end of the day, you lost your biological mom in childbirth, and there you were, this helpless baby in the hospital, and no one was there to claim you. I mean, for me, it just shows, and it speaks volumes of how incredible your parents are.
No, I agree. Yeah.
You know, that's going to be our, I think, was it the nurses who called you Gift?
Yes, they called me Gift.
Yeah, the nurses.
And like, that's why, like, this is what I actually thought you were going to speak about. This is why after my fight.
Hey, go ahead.
And I said, like, I got a lot of backlash for this. After my fights, I thank my parents for adopting me because I would have been a township kid stealing and everything. And
I was going to get to that, but you brought it up.
Sorry, a lot of like some of the black community took offense to that because they like, oh, so what you said is us black people from the township, we steal and everything. And I was like, whoa, no. This is directed to me.
Sure.
Like Gift Walker, if you know how crazy I am and like as a kid how volt I was. Like there was like even in school, I almost got expelled from school like thousands of times. I've been honest, that it was my mom who
just
saved
naughty
me.
or what?
I was so naughty. And I won't lie to you, I was so naughty. And I'm getting better as I get older, but I was very naughty. And also, I had to always say something. Like a teacher would say something, and I would always need to have the last say. And I'm still like that. I still need to be the guy to have the last say. But back to that, like a lot of the black community took offense because they thought I was taking a dig to them, and I was. I was really just taking a dig to myself, like Gift Walker
if
personally.
circumstances were different.
If circumstances were different, and it's no disrespect to them, the guys that'll take offense, I probably would have stolen your phone. It's like, don't take offense to it. This is just Gift Walker, nothing to you or where you grew up or everything. And I think that's where, like, how can I say, that was my first reaction of Gift. You probably need to PR. You need to like relax. Like this now you're not just the guy who can say anything and there's no consequences anymore. Whatever you say, there is going to be a consequence. So that's me now. So I'm trying to be more conservative and watch what I say. But yeah, no, we'll see how that goes.
But at the same time, like, and yes, that was probably taken out of context at the time. The adrenaline, you know, it's live TV.
Yeah.
You still need to sell fights, though. You know, at the end of the day, some athletes don't say a word. Some athletes like to hype fights and talk smack. Where do you, because at the same time, as someone who's still very new to the sport, 5-0, you are champion, but there's even a bigger spotlight on you now.
Yes, so I have this talk about girlfriend so many times. Like, I want to say something, or even type it on social media, because like maybe this guy said something to me, so I will type it, and then I have to retract it because I'm like, look here. As much as what we can say whatever we want, because hyping the fight and studying the fights is cool, and I do. I'm for it. I love like if you ask me who's my favorite fighter, it's Conor McGregor, man. It's Conor McGregor because
he transformed the sport.
How he
transcended
brought eyes to it that shouldn't be looking at it, kind of, because he spoke trash. Like he would talk about you and your family and make you go crazy, go in the fight and spark you in one round.
Yeah,
I agree. Conor McGregor, he was the guy for that.
Gets in your head
so much.
Yeah.
But we're all not Conor McGregor.
Absolutely.
And the crazy thing is, like, this is what I've seen a lot. The guys that talk a lot of shit, most of the time they go and they lose. When they lose, they come to the guy backstage or afterwards they're like, oh, sorry, no, it was just to hype the fight. And I'm like, okay. If that was your way to hype the fight, aren't you a good athlete? Can't your skills speak for themselves? And this is now, like, I love Conor, but this is what now we can see. His skills did not back his talking.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't. So he would speak to you to the point that you lose your mind. You get in there, you don't want to fight. You just want to kill this guy.
Yeah. And
he lights you up because he knows this is his superpower. That was his jiu-jitsu and wrestling, like getting into your head.
Yeah.
So I agree. Selling the fights is cool. It is cool. But you need to be able to back it. Yeah. And I'm for it. But if I look at someone like John Jones, he doesn't need to talk shit. He doesn't. But
he's the greatest of all time.
Thank you. There's not a debate. We all know he's the greatest of all time. Because when you step in there with this guy, no matter what you do, he's better than you. If you're going to kickbox, he's better. If you're going to wrestle, he's better. And I feel that's what a perfect athlete should be. Like, you shouldn't need to trash talk. Like, we are not Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
We are not those guys. But those guys could also back it up. And after the fight, they didn't come and say sorry afterwards. So how can I say? I'm still learning this as well.
Yeah.
I'm like you said, I'm still very new in this. So there is times like I say something and I'm like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have said that. But then there's also times I want to say something and I don't because I feel like this can come and bite you in the ass later.
Absolutely.
It can literally come and bite you in the ass. And then for what? For a few hours to come watch a fight. And that's why I say skills should speak. If you need to hype a fight like that, maybe you aren't that good. And it's okay. Then it's okay. Then you can talk as much as you want. But the other guy sitting on the other side, he also needs to understand it. Maybe he needs to maybe play the game as long or maybe just put it to light that maybe you aren't that good. That's why he talks so much shit. And that's how I feel. That's what I'm going to do. I've thought about it and I'm like, that's the approach I'm going to take because I feel my skills are going to talk for themselves. I'm not going to ever let someone, I could say, talk down on me or anything.
Yeah.
You need to back yourself. You need to, if those guys talk about your wife and kids and stuff, you defend him. But you don't need to go talk about his mom and what happened in his childhood.
Yeah.
You don't need to fight fire with fire. Our fighting does the talking. And I feel when it comes to that, I'm the best fighter to do that. So it's good. I love it. Yeah.
So if you look at, like you say, your skill set, is there then pressure on you to put on an entertaining fight? Because sometimes it doesn't require fireworks.
Yes.
JP against Conrad Siabi, it was about executing a game plan and efficiently and just neutralizing wherever you can. So sometimes it's not the most entertaining thing to do, even though you have all the skills in the world.
No, and that's now also where I feel a lot of fighters lose that. I'm not that type of guy. I will never let a ref or the crowd or anyone phase me in that sense because I'm fighting. It might not entertain you, but I'm winning.
Yeah.
I'm winning.
It's your record, not theirs.
It's my record. This is money coming into my pocket. Regardless if you guys are booing me and if the ref stands us up 7 times, well, guess what, guys? I'm going to win at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And same regards, if I step in and I throw a big overhand and I knock you out, that was great. That was very entertaining. But guess what? You get paid the same. Same to show, same to win. It's the same pose.
Yeah.
You might get a bonus, and that's great. You might get a bonus, and you might get a few more hours, but your record will stay the same, dude. It doesn't hype you like you get 2 more wins if you knock the guy out. It just doesn't work like that. So I feel maybe I haven't had it yet. Thank goodness, touch wood. I haven't had a boring fight yet because most of the time I feel like to have a boring fight, you need to have a boring dance partner.
Sure.
And all my dance partners have been good. Like this fight now with Zulu will be a lot different to the one with Terrence, but none will be boring. None will ever be boring. And I feel like that's very important because, like, I don't feel I'm a boring athlete, but like you say, even if it comes to a fight like that where I have to play it safe, it's so well. I win. And that's my job. My job is to win. My job is like, as much as what I'm an entertainer, I'm a winner first.
Yeah.
I have to be a winner first because that's what puts food on the table. So that's how I see it.
So then, indulge me here in terms of your long-term plans. For a long time, the UFC, Bellator, PFL, whatever it may be, felt like it was light years away. And a guy like Ruan Potts, Gareth McClellan, the guys that got to the UFC, it felt like it was a shot in the dark, or how can I put it? You know, like a fluke.
I hear what you say. No, I understand what you mean.
Whereas today,
it's very possible. It's very attainable.
It's attainable
because
they know who we've got. There's no doubt they know who you are. They're keeping an eye on everyone. It just feels like that step from an EFC to a UFC is so much closer.
I just feel honestly we've had great fighters like this before. You look at guys like Boyd Allen, Don Madge. Like we've had good fighters, man, that have gone overseas, and maybe it hasn't worked out the way we wanted it for them, but they regardless, they're good fighters. That they've done good on the international circuit. Like not take away from Dricus or Cabra because they've done exceptional. Yeah. They've done amazing. But before them, we kind of have had good fighters that have come before them. But I just feel at that time it was maybe just a bit too soon for us. And it's nothing to South African MMA. It's just they've been doing it now. What UFC's on? What going for 40 years? That's
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah,
that's
30
years.
Year was 30 years. Yeah.
30 years in UFC competing. That's that. So they've had the sports of like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kickboxing. They've had this long before us. Their black belts will kill our black belts. And that's just a fact. And I'm not lying. It's just a fact. And maybe when it comes to MMA, it changes a bit because we put everything together. And I give South Africans this. We are so tough.
Yeah.
We are so tough, man. We are. That's, I feel, South Africa's biggest thing. We are tough. And we're mentally strong. And that's, honestly, I'm not a Springbok supporter. That's how they won the World Cup, man. Just be tough. Just be tough and showing everybody like we deserve to be here because we do. Like South Africans, we are part of like I can say the 1%ers that no one knows about. Like I see UFC, they're tapping into China, and I've said this for a long time. Not because of the martial arts history in China, but Chinese have some freaking tough athletes. Like I've seen some of these guys like boxing and stuff, and these guys, I'm like, how do you guys not know about China? And now I'm seeing like UFC's tapping a lot into China. And I'm like, I just can't wait for that to happen here. Because not only South African, our DRCs are tough. Our Cameroonians are tough. Like I look at some of the guys in EFC. I'm like, these Northern Africans are tough. You have to kill them sometimes. Like some of them, you have to put them out. There's like you can't just want to jab, knockout with them. He's going to light you up, and he might not have the right technique, but that toughness, like you look at some even
strength.
Francis Ngannou, who started off, that was.
I mean, he rocked Tyson Fury.
He dropped him. Oh my! Oh, can you believe it?
Shows the power.
But then you look at Francis like 5-6 years ago, he was terrible, man. He would just swing and hope for the best, and he would win. He'd have like 15-second knockouts. It wasn't the prettiest, but he was tough.
Yeah,
he was so tough. And I'm like, I'm super happy that the like UFC are recognizing that in Africa now, and they started to tap into that, and it's like it's only going to go up from here. I feel because we were back with those guys. We were a bit behind.
Those were pioneers. Those were trailblazers.
They set the mark for us. Absolutely. They did set the mark for us, but I feel now, with the generation now, that we can easily stand with those guys. We can easily go toe-to-toe with some of the best in the world. We can, because I see these guys, like, obviously, I Instagram stalk a lot of international guys, and I look at them and I'm like, you guys you living a good life, but you're not that good, man. Like, if you had to come to South Africa, I know a few South Africans that will give you a run for your money, and it's scary, but it's true.
There's a South African heading to Toronto. He's probably in Toronto as we speak. When Dricus du Plessis wins the middleweight title, it's going to have a tsunami effect.
It's going to go crazy.
In MMA.
And it's going to go, that's the sad thing. They're going to, like, all the agencies are all going to just flock and sign so many African stars and everything. And for me, the irony is, why only now? Like, it sounds sad, but why only now? Yeah. Like, it shouldn't have took this long, and I'm glad Dricus is leading the way and doing that for us. It's good for him, and it's good for us. It's great for us. But I'm like, why did it take so long? Because, like you said, we've had good pioneers. We've had guys that really, man, if Leon Maynard went that side, he would have been amazing. Like, you look at Jeremy Pitbull Smith now in bare knuckle boxing. He's thriving there. So I'm like, we've had the skill level for a long time.
Got a UFC gig.
Did he?
No, I'm saying imagine if he had got, I know he had obviously his 4 years.
Yes.
That he was banned, but 4 years, if he had got the UFC in that, you know what I mean? Who knows where DeMart Penna would be today? You know,
totally
if I think of the Fight Fit Militia guys as a gym at that point, they were ahead of their time.
They were sadly, hey, like it was, and it was like I remember, when was it, like that picture with Richie Kwan, who had like the 4 EFC titles with these 4 champions at the back, and I was like, that is it was impressive because that was back then in 2016, 2015, when EFC were flying out to internationals even, and they were owning internationals. They were making quick work of them. Like, and I'm like, that stuff needed to, like, it sounds sad, but that's the stuff that needed to have lights on. Yeah. Those are the guys also that, like, if we were discovered a little bit earlier, imagine the how can I say, the investments that would have been put into us now. But it is what it is. We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it.
The onus is on you now.
Yep.
Let's be honest. I mean, it is a responsibility.
It is.
You flying the flag for. Let's be honest. In terms of African MMA, yes, there's various other little promotions that happen, but EFC still flies the flag for the continent.
EFC is #1.
So it's the step, and all said with all due respect, the stepping stone to a UFC.
Yeah,
It
to
really
any
is.
big
Or
promotion, like,
PFL. Or,
it is like that, and no offense, EFC even knows us like that, so that's why it tries to give you the toughest fight possible right now in your early career, so that when you get that side, you kind of like you're polished good. So you you just need to maybe keep up your left hand or throw it straight or work on your cardio a bit better, but you're basically a finished product already. Whereas like, like I say, guys, like I see this a lot. So I'm following a lot of guys since I've started MMA, and guys that start in big promotions don't normally thrive in the big promotions. They don't make it. They don't. So if you start in UFC, I can bet you now you're not going to be a UFC champion. Like it sounds ugly, but you're just gonna have to go through so many trials and tribulations from fight one. Whereas if you start like big respect to Drickers, how he did it, man. Like how he did it on the international circuit and then jump into the UFC was the right thing to do.
yeah,
It was the right thing.
KSW and
Literally seen so many different bodies, so many different crowds, fighting it like so many times out of your comfort zone. I think that made him like, that's also a superpower kind of for him, because no matter like he's gonna go to Canada now, they're probably all gonna cheer for Sean Strickland. And
all of them will.
and for him, it's going to be like, it's another day in the office, and he's going to go and he's going to take that title.
Tougher at CIT.
Yeah, like, you understand what I mean? So he's going to go and he's going to take the part, and it's going to be good. It's going to be great for our coach. It's going to be great. But yeah, like I feel, this is what I feel, and I'm not saying everyone has to do this. I'm not saying, I feel everyone should try to do that, man, especially coming from EFC. And I see this a lot with our EFC champions. They get the belts, they defend it 1 or 2 times. Now, obviously, just like me, we think we're the best thing in the whole wide world. So then we jump to big promotions. Before we actually ready for the big promotions, we lose, and then we become just another number there. We just become another fight there. And it sounds sad, they end up back in UFC. And I look at these guys, I'm like, come on, dude. Like,
There's a few.
There's a few. Like, you could have been something better if you were a bit more patient. And I'm not your coach. I'm not the guy to give you advice, but I feel that's what I'm going to do. And I even spoke to my team. I think that's the big call, because I've had chance now, big chance with my management. Shout out to first round management. They wanted me to jump straight to UFC.
Okay.
And I was like,
was there an offer on the table?
There was. Not straight UFC, like the Dana White Contender Series kind of thing, but like they could make those kind of things happen for me. And I was like, not yet. I still feel there's a lot of things I still need to work on. Like for myself, there's a lot of things. I know I can go to UFC and I'll win 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 fights. I can go on a 4-fight win streak. But when the big fight comes, what if I lose?
Yeah.
And then
up against the top 10, it suddenly is a different game.
A good top 15. You need a good top 15, because my division, what I love about it now is it's actually on a rise, man.
It is.
Like number 10 can beat number 1. On any given day. It is so crazy. And 4 years ago, they think about scrapping the flyweight division.
It's mad.
It's madness. So I'm so happy about how they're doing now. So I really, when I get there, I don't just want to be another number. I don't. I'm going for gold. I want to be, get in there, get the belt and get out. So I'm looking for about a 6-7 fights in the UFC. So if that's the case, I need to have about 12, 13 other fights first before I enter that. And that's literally what I'm going to do now. And I feel it's going to be the right plan for me. And also just, like I say, if I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose on a KSW stage than in a UFC stage. Take
the lessons from there.
Take the lesson, I get into there, and then there's no lesson in UFC. I'll know what to do. That's how I feel. That's the approach I'm going.
Okay, I like that. It's a measured approach. So it's about the process.
Yeah, and I'm still young. I'm 24. Like I understand, if you're a bit older in your career, take the jump. You don't have much time left. You don't have much time. I understand. Father time, it catches all of us. It does.
It's a young man's sport.
It's a young man's sport. If you're 30 and you this like small promotion, not saying EFC is a small promotion, but like a smaller promotion champion, jump on the opportunity, man. If you get that opportunity, you jump. But then you have to commit the next 5 years of your life of just being the best athlete you can be. Whereas me now, for the next 5 years, I can kind of like fix all these little nitty-gritty problems so that by the time I'm 29, 30, when I hit the UFC, it's smooth sailings. It's smooth sailings. My PR's good. My how can I say, my weight cutting.
No emotional tweeting.
No emotional tweeting. Like, if I want to say it, I say what I want to say. Like, you understand what I mean?
I got you.
All those nitty-gritty things that it's out of the way. And all I need to focus upon is the fights. And even in the fights, if, like I can say, if I get dropped, it's like, it's not going to be like the first time I get dropped and I'm getting dropped in front of 20,000 people. I get dropped and I'm like, it's okay, I get up, I dust it off, I get back and I can fight. Yeah.
It's a very mature approach. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this journey leads, because you've got arguably your toughest opponent yet coming up in
Oh,
March.
yeah, definitely. He's going to bring the fight. Out of all my opponents, if there's somebody that's going to come fight at Zulu, he's going to come. And rightly so. Rightly so. Like, I feel this, how I'm approaching this for Zulu, is I'm the young me, the champ. I'm the young champ with literally for him, nothing to lose. Like, even if I lose, he takes my belts, but my life continues, which is right. It's not a lie. We've seen this many times. Whereas him, this is kind of his last shot. Because because I see he's not putting his belt up for the line. So even if I do beat him.
Okay, so he's not putting the bands.
He's not. Okay. He's not. He doesn't want to do it. And it's okay.
So it's purely fly.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately. Like, we still pushing
so double
for
champ would have been.
I think it would have been cool for both sides, but it's okay. Like, we still pushing for it. I spoke to Jimmy on Tuesday. So we're still pushing for it, but hey, I know this game doesn't always give you what you want. You could, like, I'll push my chance. I'm going to carry on pushing until fight day. But yeah, so I see, like, he's seen it as I win or he loses, and it's kind of it's done for him. Even though he's still got his title, he's got to go fight another young hungry guy who's like Terrace in the interim champ, which he doesn't really know how it's gonna go. So I know he's a very confident guy, so he never wants to be in that position of like limbo of like what like 50-50 kind of position. So he's that's how he's approaching the fight. Where me, this is how I feel it's ugly to say, it's a lose-lose for me, this fight. Yeah. Even if I win, I beat the champion, like Zulu boy, which he's not even an official flyweight. So, yeah, you beat a good legend, but what does it do for me, actually? It doesn't, like, in my rankings or anything, it doesn't catapult me. It just gives me another title defense. If I lose, well, I lost to a guy that's not even supposed to be a flyweight. Sure. He's like on a 1-fight win streak. Like, so it's a lose-lose for me, but I'm approaching it as like, this is the biggest fight of my career, because it is. Yeah. It is like this defense means everything to me.
And should you win and have your hand raised, I think it cements you as the #1 flyweight, if you know what I'm trying to say, because of beating a guy who is not naturally a flyweight. Zulu is a legend of the sport. He obviously has a soft spot for the flyweight belt. He's a former champion. But getting your hand raised is a statement of note.
Agree. Look, and I agree. Any fight is a fight I want. So, excuse me. It's a fight I want to win. Like, I'm not, like I say, overlooking Zulu. I'm not like brushing this fight to the side of, if I win, life continues. No. This fight is very important to me. Like, being said as well, like, I used to watch Zulu as well. As much as I used to watch all the other guys, I used to watch Zulu. I might have not been a fan of him, but I used to watch him.
Sure.
I used to watch him, and I used to, like, appreciate him. Like, when he, like, hit Craig Nemo with that uppercut, I was like, he snatched at his nose. I don't even know how he finished the fight. Like, good respect to Craig Nemo, but also, it was destroyed.
It was terrible.
It was disgusting. It was disgusting, but respect is...
I was about to have breakfast. Not anymore.
But you understand. So I've been watching it for so long. Yeah. That's like I've always had that like think of, okay, we actually might fight. And the crazy thing is, I spoke to my mom the other day. She would always be like, oh no, man, you're silly. Like, she'd always brush it to the side of, these guys are going to be long gone by the time you get there. And it's not like that now.
We're dancing.
Here we are, we're dancing. And it's me. This is where it's scary for me as well, because it's old school versus new school. And if he wins, it's kind of like everyone's like, these youngsters, told you. He's still a kid, man. Whereas if this kid wins, it's kind of like, whoo, yeah, I'm not a kid anymore.
You're certainly not a kid anymore. Even at 24 years old,
thank you.
You've done incredibly well, Gift. Congratulations. Good luck. Goes down March. Have they set a date yet?
Yes, 7 March.
Is it 7 March? Sorry, I've got the EFC website here open. I'm sure it was 7, but it doesn't say 7 here. Anyway, it is the 7th March. Goes down at the Performance Institute. Flyweight title.
Yes, please.
It's all happening. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All the best in the new year. I hope and pray it starts with a W in March.
Thank you.
And that you continue your incredible trajectory.
Thanks. Yes, have an awesome year as well, brother.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.